Hello guys, welcome to a new Get Rekt gaming news video, and today I have some spicy news. Final Fantasy VII, the anniversary event is happening. Well, it's not really an event, but we are going to get a big update towards Final Fantasy VII projects. There is some news towards a Blade Runner game by Tom Henderson that's going to be very interesting. And The Last of Us Remake was leaked yesterday, just right before the Summer Game Fest began. Let's talk about all this amazing news. Sit back, relax, enjoy, take a beverage, and let's get on with the news. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is the Final Fantasy VII anniversary, which we already knew. I made a previous video that Nomura said, hey, we're going to get Final Fantasy VII news in June, and it looks like that's going to happen because Square Enix officially revealed a 10-minute celebration, like I think a video or live stream that we're going to get with all Final Fantasy VII related news. Now, this can be the mobile game that I'm not interested in, but what about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2? And I have some things about that. So let's go over to the Twitter page of Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's an interesting thing, by the way. This announcement was made by the Final Fantasy VII Remake Twitter page. Not the Final Fantasy Twitter page, but the Remake Twitter page. That's very interesting to me. Join us next week for around 10 minutes to celebrate the 25 years of Final Fantasy VII, and they link a YouTube live stream link. Go stream the broadcast and share your reactions with the Final Fantasy VII hashtag 25th anniversary. Please be excited. So that's very interesting. And then we have a short message from Tetsuya Nomura. We will be streaming the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary celebration at only around 10 minutes long. So that's not very long, but he is saying it will be short and sweet. But we have packed it with lots of information. So I hope everyone can look forward to the unveiling, Tetsuya Nomura. If you guys know, the Kingdom Hearts celebration anniversary video was, I think, only around 7 to 8 minutes long, and we got Kingdom Hearts 4 in that. So I think we are going to get a similar thing that they did with Kingdom Hearts, and they're going to show the mobile games, the First Soldier, I believe it is, and Final Fantasy, the Battle Royale game, I don't know the name, ending it off with probably a teaser towards the remake. Another thing that I want to mention, this tweet that I read with Tetsuya Nomura's message specifically has a hashtag, Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary hashtag, Final Fantasy the First Soldier, that's what the name is, hashtag, and they also include the hashtag for Final Fantasy VII Remake, specifically that hashtag. That is very interesting. But there is more towards the story. This is from the Senior Influencer Relations Manager at Square Enix. His name is It's Just Ips. He works basically for Square Enix himself. And he specifically tweeted, "Do not miss this." All in captions. That's a pretty big excitement there from someone who works at Square Enix. I found that a pretty interesting tweet to edit here on the speculation of Final Fantasy VII Remake also appearing on this live stream. I think it's pretty safe to say that it's going to appear here as well. So, pretty interesting stuff. We might get finally some Remake 7 news. Are we going to see Final Fantasy 9 Remake? Don't expect it. This is purely for Final Fantasy VII's anniversary, so we will only see Final Fantasy VII related content. So that was all towards Final Fantasy VII that I have for you guys today. The live stream will be on June 16th. The time zones also 3 p.m. PT, which is going to be very late again for me. That's like 12 a.m. in the morning, but hey, I will watch. 18 p.m. ET Eastern Time and 23 p.m. BST British Time. The next thing that I want to talk about is The Last of Us Remake. Yesterday it was Summer Game Fest. I'm still going to do actually a video on all the Summer Game Fest announcements, just like I did with the State of Play, and I will go over all the cool announcements that were at the State of Play. But I wanted to pick Last of Us Remake out because that was basically the big show ender, and it got leaked unfortunately right before the show happened by Sony themselves. Oops. Oh boy, that's I feel for Jeff Keighley. That's pretty stupid for him. You have this big reveal for your show at the end and then it gets just swept away. Now, in my opinion, if you want my quick opinion on the Summer Game Fest show, I didn't find it that amazing, to be honest. The front parts, let's say the first third of the show was very good, with a lot of cool sci-fi horror games. The Callisto Protocol was very good, the gameplay for that, and we got some new games. Routine looked very cool, and there were some other ones, Hellfire I think, or something like that, looked very cool. But that was basically my quick opinion on Summer Game Fest. Let's talk about Last of Us. So they confirmed The Last of Us Remake is coming in the 2nd of September. That's very quick, to be honest. But it's just a remake of a story that we already know. And I don't think they are going to put that much effort into it, to be honest. So I am here at Naughty Dog's web page. I'm not going to read it all because I saw all the announcements yesterday live myself. So basically they announced the standalone multiplayer game. That's still off. We only saw basically an image, which I will show you on screen. A concept art, and at first this was supposed to be a multiplayer part for, I guess, The Last of Us Part 2, but it became too ambitious, so they want to make this their own standalone multiplayer game, and it even has a story. That's what like Neil Druckmann said on stage. It has its own story to it, so it might be a live service game. And as you guys know, I don't like live service games, but fine. Let's see how this pans out. I've heard positive things about the previous multiplayer mode for the first Last of Us. I never played it, I only played the story. So let's see how this winds up. But that's all they showed for that multiplayer game. Then they also had an update on the Last of Us HBO TV show, and they showed a picture of the two actors. I don't know what their names are anymore. Pedro Pascal, I believe, he plays in The Mandalorian, very good actor. And I don't know what the girl name is. Ashley and Troy Baker also are getting parts in this TV show apparently, so that was very important for Neil Druckmann, that the original voice actors would get some sort of like hand in the TV show, which is good, as long as this TV show sticks to the original story and they don't change it too much, then not a lot of things can happen wrongly. But I'm still very skeptical, to be honest, on like game adaptations from TV shows in general. We shall see how it lives up, but that was not important. The most important thing, The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. So they showed a trailer, I will probably show it on screen as well, with new graphics, and they showed comparison screenshots, and it definitely looks better. I don't know why we need a remake for Last of Us, because the first one is still really good and modern enough. But oh well, you know, if it has some cool new gameplay features a la Last of Us 2 with more impactful combat, better exploration. I was not a big fan of Last of Us Part 2. I reviewed it for Ace Ice. I gave it a 6 out of 10 because the story was just absolutely not good. But the gameplay for Last of Us Part 2 was good. So if they can like upgrade the gameplay to the standards of what Last of Us Part 2 is, but just with the amazing story of the first one, then nothing can really go wrong. But I don't want to see any fucking retcons in this game. If they are going to change the story in favor of Last of Us 2 by like showing Abby in cutscenes or something, I'm going to be angry. And I will make a video on it. Last of Us Remake is announced for PlayStation 5 and PC. It's also coming to PC. That's probably also a reason why they are doing this, because The Last of Us is not on PC. You can play it. I don't know if it releases on PC at the same time. Could be different. But it's releasing for PlayStation 5 2nd of September. So next to God of War, we do have Last of Us, which is pretty cool. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is a Blade Runner video game. This is a article by Tom Henderson. I cover Tom Henderson a lot because he's a pretty reliable insider. And he got news on the fact that the Blade Runner license is basically in for game development. Let's go to the article. It's from Tryhard Guides. Cloud gaming developer and publisher 1010 Industries has acquired a license to make a new Blade Runner game, sources have said. The announcement of the game was made at the developer's new studio in Switzerland, in which the game was announced to release in 2025. So this is going to be a pretty long time until this is going to release. It's currently known about the game as the announcement came in from of a short and brief cinematic trailer, which is expected to release in the near future. Okay, so we're going to get a trailer for this. That's pretty cool. No further details about the game was revealed at the event. The new project shouldn't be confused with the Blade Runner Enhanced Edition by Westwood Studios, which is a remastered of the 1979 cult adventure game. EA founder Trip Hawkins joined 1010 Industries earlier this year and as an advisor to the board. Please, no microtransactions or predatory shit. I don't know this guy, maybe he's just a game developer, but you know, if it comes from EA, I have to be skeptical a bit. With this primary role of leveraging the brand and corporate culture of the company. That's all what is known about this game. I have no knowledge on what this studio is made of. I've never heard of this studio even. It's totally new to me. We don't know what type of game this is, but it's Blade Runner and I love cyberpunk in every way. Akira is my most favorite, one of my most favorite movies of all time. I love Cyberpunk 2077. I also love Ghost in the Shell. I'm a big fan of cyberpunk stuff, and I also love the Blade Runner movies. So if they can make a very cool video game out of this, then I'm hyped for sure. We don't know if it's an open world game or if it's going to follow the movies in any way. We need to see how that's going to develop. So that's all the news I got for you guys. Are you excited for the Blade Runner game? Are you excited for the Last of Us remake? I am a little bit myself. We shall see. I need to see the reviews if they are going to change any of the story. And if it's worth $70, because it's pretty expensive. PlayStation 5 exclusive. And of course, what do you guys think of Final Fantasy VII, the anniversary event? Are you guys hyped for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. Give me a like, that would be very cool. Subscribe, that would be very cool. And visit my social media, that would be awesome. And as always, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys in the next Get Rekt gaming news video. Bye bye.